Ladies and gentlemen, there is a kind of pain that doesn't just wound, it lingers, it echoes, it reshapes the very foundation of trust. It is the pain of betrayal, not the kind that comes from an enemy that we expect, but the kind that comes from a friend, a loved one, someone who was once trusted. That pain doesn't just cut deep, it leaves scars that never fully fade. There is no pain quite like the one that comes from being betrayed by someone you once trusted with your whole heart. When an enemy wrongs you, it stings, but it doesn't shatter you. You expect it, you are prepared for it. But when someone you once called a friend, a partner, a confidant, the very person you held close, turns their back on you, it's different. It's not just the loss of trust. It's the loss of belief in the bond you thought was unbreakable. It's a kind of heartbreak that doesn't just go away with time. It lingers in the quiet moments, in the spaces where laughter once lived, in the echoes of conversations you thought were real. The hardest part is not just losing them, but losing the version of yourself that believed in them. You start questioning everything. Was it ever real? Were their words ever true? How could someone who claimed to care betray you so easily? But here's the thing about betrayal. It is never a reflection of your worth. It is a mirror that shows the character of the one who deceived you. A good soul does not lose its value because someone else failed to appreciate it. It does not become weak because it chose love over indifference, loyalty over convenience, honesty over manipulation. If anything, it becomes stronger. Because while betrayal may shake you, it also awakens you. It teaches you who truly deserves a place in your life and who was merely passing through. Some people will only realize what they had when they've already lost it. They will look back and see that they didn't just betray a person, they betrayed the one who would have stood by them through every storm. And by then the good soul will have moved on, not with anger but with wisdom, not with revenge but with the quiet dignity of knowing that they were never the fool. The fool was the one who thought they could play with a heart so pure and never pay the price. A good soul will show up when no one else does. They will listen when the world turns a deaf ear. They will hold space for you in ways you don't even know you need it. They will forgive mistakes that others would walk away from. And they will do it all without asking for anything in return, because for them, love is not a game, loyalty is not a strategy, and kindness is not a weakness, it is their nature. But the mistake people make is assuming that because a good soul gives freely, they will always be there. That because they forgive, they will tolerate anything. That because they love deeply, they will never walk away. Nothing could be further from the truth. A good soul gives not because they are blind to betrayal, but because they believe in the goodness of people. And when that belief is shattered, when their kindness is mistaken for foolishness, they do not seek revenge. They do not turn bitter. They simply withdraw the love they once poured so selflessly. And that is when the realization hits. The loss of a good soul is unlike any other, because once they are gone, they take with them a kind of warmth that is irreplaceable. No amount of regret can undo the moment they decide they are done. No amount of apologies can bring back the trust that was broken. Those who take a good soul for granted often learn too late that what they lost was not just a person, but a rare and irreplaceable presence in their life. So if you're lucky enough to have someone who loves you with a pure heart, cherish them. Do not let familiarity breed neglect. Do not mistake their kindness for an obligation, because once a good soul walks away, they don't just leave, they take with them a love that most people spend a lifetime searching for, and once lost, that kind of love is never found again. Betrayal doesn't just hurt, it transforms. When you betray a good soul, you don't just break their trust. You break something inside them that can never be fully restored. They are not like others who play games, who love with conditions, who guard their hearts with walls. No, a good soul enters every bond with an open heart, believing in the goodness of the people they choose. They do not hold back, they do not calculate. They give fully without hesitation. And this is where the greatest tragedy unfolds, not for the good soul, but for the one who betrayed them. Because by the time they realize what they lost, by the time they come back seeking the warmth they once took for granted, they find only distance. The good soul no longer waits, no longer hopes, no longer believes in empty words. They have learned that some losses are not theirs to mourn. So if you ever find yourself in the presence of a good soul, honor them. Do not be the reason they lose their belief in love, in kindness, in loyalty. Because once a good soul changes, once they learn to protect themselves from betrayal, they never return the same. And the person who hurt them will come to understand too late that they did not just betray someone's trust, they lost something irreplaceable, the rarest kind of love this world has to offer. When you betray a good soul, you don't just lose a person, you lose a force of unwavering love, a source of comfort, a presence that once stood by you when no one else did. You lose the one who saw the best in you even when you couldn't see it yourself. And no matter how much time passes, no matter how many people come into your life, nothing will ever replace what you lost. At first, it may not seem like a loss at all. The world moves fast and distractions are everywhere. You convince yourself that their absence doesn't matter, that they were just another person passing through. But then in the quiet moments when life tests you, when you look around and realize the people you once put above them are nowhere to be found, that's when the weight of your betrayal begins to settle in. That's when you understand what you have done. Because a good soul is not just someone who loved you, they protected you, they stood by you, they believed in you when you didn't believe in yourself, they forgave your flaws, overlooked your mistakes, and stayed by your side when others would have walked away. And when you took them for granted, when you hurt them thinking they would always stay, you didn't just betray them, you betrayed the rarest form of loyalty you will ever know. And here's the part that stings the most. They will never come back the same. A good soul may forgive, but they do not forget. They may still wish you well, but they will never let you back into the space you once occupied. Not because they are bitter, but because they have learned that not everyone deserves their kindness, that some people mistake love for weakness, that sometimes the greatest act of self-respect is walking away from those who never truly valued them. So when you betray a good soul, you don't just lose them, you lose the version of them that loved you without hesitation. And that is a loss that no apology, no regret, no amount of time can ever undo. Because once a good soul is gone, they are gone forever, and the space they leave behind is a void that no one else will ever be able to fill. Life has a way of keeping balance. Call it karma, call it the universe, call it fate. Whatever name you give it, the truth remains the same. What you put into the world will always find its way back to you. When you betray a good soul, it may feel like an easy escape, like a choice that carries no weight, but the universe doesn't forget. The energy you send out, whether it is love or deceit, kindness or cruelty, will return to you in ways you never see coming. At first, it may seem like nothing has changed. You move on, convinced that the betrayal had no consequences. You tell yourself they were too soft, too forgiving, that they will heal and life will go on. But time has a way of revealing the truth. The same loyalty you once took for granted will be something you crave in others, but never find. The same forgiveness you thought was endless will no longer be there when you need it the most. The hands that once held you up in your weakest moments will be nowhere to be found. And then one day you will feel it. The emptiness, the absence of something real. The realization that the person you betrayed was not just another chapter in your life, but a rare kind of love that doesn't come twice. You will see their strength, not in their pain, but in the way they moved on without you. And that will be the moment you understand life has given you exactly what you gave them. The universe is always watching. It doesn't punish it, doesn't seek revenge, but it does restore balance. And when you betray a good soul, you are not just betraying them. You are setting into motion a lesson that will one day come back to you. The love you took for granted will be the love you long for. The trust you broke will be the trust you struggle to rebuild. The pain you caused will be the pain you one day feel. So be careful with the hearts that love you. Be mindful of the people who show up for you with nothing but good intentions, because the loss of a good soul is not just a temporary absence. It is a wound life will make sure you remember. And by the time you realize what you have lost, the lesson will already be written in the story of your life, and the only thing left will be regret. A good soul does not seek revenge. They do not waste their time plotting ways to make you feel the pain they endured. That is not their nature. Instead, they heal in silence. They step back, they reflect, and they grow. And when they finally move on, they do so with a strength that is both quiet and unshakable. At first, you may think they are still there, waiting, hurting, hoping for your return. But what you fail to see is that something inside them has shifted. They no longer seek explanations. They no longer wait for apologies that may never come. They do not chase closure because they have learned that true closure does not come from another person, it comes from within. They carry their pain not as a burden but as a lesson. They learn to guard their heart, to choose their people wisely, to value themselves in ways they never did before. And that is the most powerful transformation of all. Because once a good soul realizes their worth, once they understand that their kindness should never be mistaken for weakness, they become unstoppable. And this is where the deepest regret takes root, not in them, but in the one who betrayed them. Because while they have grown wiser, stronger, more radiant, the betrayer remains stuck in the past, chasing something they can never get back. They may reach out, try to reconnect, offer apologies wrapped in nostalgia, but they will find that the door that was once wide open is now locked. Not out of bitterness, but out of self-respect. A good soul does not seek revenge. Their silence is their answer. Their happiness without you is the proof that they were never the one who lost, you were. Because they did not just survive betrayal, they rose above it. And in the end, the greatest price you pay for betraying a good soul is watching them thrive in a life where you no longer have a place. There is something final about losing a good soul, not because they wanted to leave, not because they stopped caring, but because you gave them no choice. A good soul will fight for you. They will stand by you even when the world turns its back. They will believe in you long after you have stopped believing in yourself. But the moment you betray them, the moment you show them that their love, loyalty, and trust were taken for granted, something within them changes forever. At first, they grieve, not just for the loss of you, but for the loss of who they were with you. They struggle, they question, they replay every moment trying to understand where it all went wrong. But then something powerful happens. They stop searching for answers in you and start finding them in themselves. They realize that their kindness was never the problem, that their loyalty was never misplaced. It was simply given to someone who didn't know how to value it. And once they understand this, they step away, not with anger, but with wisdom. You see, a good soul doesn't turn cold, they just turn careful. They don't seek revenge, they simply stop offering their warmth to those who don't deserve it. And that is when the real price of betrayal is paid. Not in the moment of losing them, but in the moment you realize they will never return the same. You may try to find them in others, search for their love in places that will never feel like home, but no matter where you go, you will feel the absence of what you lost. Because the truth is, some losses are permanent. Some betrayals change people in ways that cannot be undone. And the greatest mistake you can make is thinking that just because a good soul once loved you, they always will. Love like theirs is not a revolving door, it is a one-time gift. And when you betray it, you do not just lose a person, you lose a love that you will spend a lifetime realizing you will never find again. Life has a way of teaching lessons in the most unexpected ways. Sometimes the greatest losses are not of material things, not of opportunities missed, but of people who once loved us unconditionally, who stood by us when the world turned its back, who saw the best in us even when we couldn't see it ourselves. And the hardest truth to accept is that once you betray a good soul, you lose the privilege of ever being loved by them the same way again. A good soul does not carry hate, they do not seek vengeance, and they do not spend their life wishing you pain. Instead, they rise, they evolve, and they move forward with a wisdom that only heartbreak can teach. They do not return with the same open heart because the betrayal that once broke them has now built them into someone stronger, someone more discerning, someone who will never again allow themselves to be taken for granted. And that is where the true cost of betrayal is felt, not in the moment of deception, but in the long, quiet years that follow. In the moments when you find yourself searching for the kind of love you once had but can never seem to find again. In the realization that no matter how many people enter your life, none of them will ever hold you the way that good soul did. And the cruelest part, by the time you recognize what you lost, they will have already found their peace in a life where you no longer belong. So if you ever find yourself standing in the presence of a good soul, someone who loves with purity, who gives without expecting, who stays even when it's easier to walk away, cherish them, because while a good soul will forgive, they will never forget. And while they may still wish you well, they will never again offer you the love you once took for granted. And in the end, that will be the greatest regret of all. Not that they left, but that you gave them every reason to.